So what we have for today is what is called empirical rule. Empirical rule z-score. Empirical rule z-score. So before we look at this, we will look at our PowerPoint chapter 3. So, and that is that PowerPoint. And we see that empirical rule, by the way, you only use empirical rule, which is 95, 68, 95, 99.7. The empirical rule says that 68% of any data that is normally distributed lies between plus or minus 1 standard deviation. 95% lies between plus or minus 2 standard deviations. 99.7 lies between plus or minus 3 standard deviations. So that's what the empirical rule says. And you can only use the empirical rule when the mean is equal to the median. In other words, the data is normally distributed. Empirical rule says if any data is normally distributed or bell-shaped, 68% of that data lie within 1 standard deviation. Within means plus or minus. 95% lies within 2 standard deviations. 99.7 lies within 3 standard deviations. So now that we have seen this, we can also go back to this chart, and now we can say, because this is the mean of any normal distribution lies at the center. The mean divide the normal curve into 2 congruent parts, equal parts. This distance, 1 standard deviation below the mean and 1 standard deviation above the mean, the shaded region here is 68%. 68% lie within 1 standard deviation. 95% lie within 2 standard deviations. 99.7% lie within 3 standard deviations. That's what we call the empirical rule. Now we will go to questions on empirical rule. Question number 11 says, a certain standardized test, match test, score have a bell-shaped distribution. A distribution that has mean equal to median is bell-shaped. It's symmetrical. It's called a normal curve. If it is skewed right or skewed left, then mean is skewed right mean is greater than median. Skewed left mean is less than median. It's not bell-shaped. Therefore, you're not allowed to use empirical rule. You're not allowed to use z-score. You are not allowed to use standardized curve. All right, so the mean of this normal curve is 520. Mean of a population, 520. And the standard deviation of that is 105. 105. Standard deviation is 105. If the mean is 520 and standard deviation is 105, so you add 1 standard deviation above the mean to the mean. Above to the mean. So 625 is correct. Very good. What is 1 standard deviation below the mean then? What number? 415. That is 520 minus 105. 415. I'm going to shade the area. According to empirical rule, plus or minus 1 standard deviation of any data that is normally distributed is equal to 68%. It's within means plus or minus. Within plus or minus. The shaded region is 68% of the data. What percentage of the test score is between 415 and 625. And I'll do second verse. I will select normal CDF. So the lower bound is 415 according to this question. According to this question, the lower bound is 415, 4, 1, 5. The upper bound is 625, 6, 2, 5. The mean is 520, 5, 2, 0. The standard deviation is 105, 105. If I arrow down to paste and I hit enter, if I multiply this number by 100, because the question says what percentage, I'll get 68 again, approximately 68. Round to 1 decimal point, it's going to be 68.2 or 68.3%. So, according to empirical rule, it is still 68, approximately 0.3%. That's question A.